There is a number that changes everything about your memory after the age of 60. And that number is 60 seconds. That is the amount of time a growing body of neuroscience research says it takes to switch on the one system in your brain most responsible for pulling up a name, a face, or where you left your keys. The people who kept their memory sharp into their 80s were not the ones taking the most supplements. They were not the ones doing the hardest crossword puzzles. And they were not the ones with the best genes. They were the ones who did one specific thing for about a minute a day. One small habit. And when the scientists scanned their brains, the difference was not small. It was dramatic. If you also ever stop while trying to remember an old friend's name, or open the refrigerator and after a few moments forget what you actually came to get, then first of all know one thing. Many people experience this feeling after the age of 60. But every time it does not mean that your memory is finishing. In many situations, the problem is not storing memory, rather it is retrieving it on time. This is why today neurologists do not focus only on medicines or supplements. They try to understand that system of the brain which brings back memories when needed. The most important part of this system is the hippocampus. This is that memory center of the brain which helps in organizing new names, new faces, new experiences, and daily information. But here another surprising thing comes forward. Research suggested that in many adults with healthy aging, not only did the hippocampus behave differently, but after movement, their brain activity patterns also appeared different. For this reason, the attention of neuroscientists shifted away from just brain games to the connection between the brain and body. I remember a retired school teacher. I will call him Robert. One day, while trying to smile, he said, "I never used to forget my granddaughter Emma's birthday. But last year I did not remember the date of her birthday party at all. That day for the first time I felt fear about my memory." His neurologist did not immediately recommend any miracle supplement. He only said this much. "Robert, first let us understand what your brain actually needs." And this very answer led researchers to a discovery that changed many old concepts about memory, because the thing they recommended was neither a crossword puzzle, nor Sudoku, nor any expensive supplement bottle. Now the question is, if not supplements, if not crossword puzzles, then where did the researchers' focus go? If I ask you what could be the best exercise to support memory, then perhaps you will say, walking. Some people will say stretching. And some people will perhaps name brain training apps or Sudoku. The surprising thing is that neuroscience researchers also did not remain limited only to these things. They started looking at what actually happens inside the brain when the body becomes active even for just 1 minute. From here the story becomes even more interesting. Brain imaging studies and neuroscience research suggested that after a short duration of physical activity, activity can increase in those networks of the brain that are related to attention and memory. During this, a protein also becomes more active which is called BDNF, meaning Brain-Derived Neurotrophic Factor. There is no need to remember this difficult name. Just understand this much that many neuroscientists give the example of this as brain fertilizer. Just as good fertilizer supports the new growth of a plant, similarly BDNF supports the communication between brain cells and the learning process. This is why neurologists say that when movement becomes a daily habit, its effect does not remain limited only to muscles, the brain also starts responding to that movement. I remember a 74-year-old retired accountant. I will call her Susan. She said, "I used to promise my grandson Ethan that I would come to watch his baseball game, but one day I forgot the date itself. I felt more sorrow for myself than for him." Her neurologist smiled and said, "Susan, today we will train memory not just through the mind, but through the body as well." But the most surprising thing was that he did not start with walking, nor with stretching, nor with any brain game. The exercise he recommended was so simple that often people do not consider it exercise at all. And perhaps that is why its impact was so surprising. By now perhaps you too might be thinking, after all, what is that exercise? The surprising thing is that when researchers mentioned this routine, many people's first reaction was, just this small thing. Yes, indeed. The name of this exercise is the sit-to-stand exercise. Meaning sit straight on a sturdy chair, then without a jerk and according to your capacity, stand up, and then comfortably sit down again. Movement is repeated for approximately 60 seconds. At first glance, this seems very minor. But actually during this single movement, not only do your legs work. Your hips, core muscles, heart, and lungs also become active. Along with this, blood circulation increases and oxygen and nutrients reach the brain in a better way. For this reason, experts call it not just a leg exercise, but a brain-body exercise. I remember a 72-year-old retired librarian. I will call her Linda. She said, "Earlier I used to remember the location of thousands of books in the library. Now sometimes I keep searching for my reading glasses." I was more worried about the fact that her confidence was gradually decreasing. Her neurologist did not give her any miracle promise. He just said this much, "Linda, we will not force your memory. We will first give the brain that environment where it can work better." She included the sit-to-stand movement in her daily routine. After a few weeks she said, "First of all, I felt a difference not in memory, but in my attention. I started listening to people with more focus than before." Neuroscience also suggests this exact thing. Sometimes memory feels better because the brain is more alert and focused than before. But here many people make a mistake. They think that only this 60-second exercise is enough. Reality is a bit different from this, and understanding this point is the most valuable lesson of this entire video. But now the most important question. Is only this 60-second exercise enough to keep your memory strong? The answer is no. And perhaps this exact thing has kept many people in a misunderstanding. Neurologists say that healthy memory is not the result of any single exercise, any single supplement, or any single brain game. It is a collection of those small habits that together daily support the brain. The importance of the sit-to-stand exercise is because it gives a signal to your brain that the body is active. But if along with this there is good sleep, regular walking, and social connection with people as well, then the brain gets that environment in which it can work in a better way. Here another myth breaks. Many people think that memory becomes strong only through crossword puzzles or mobile brain games. But neuroscience tells us that the brain needs not just information, it also needs circulation. This is why the relationship between movement and memory is considered so interesting. I remember Joseph, a 79-year-old retired firefighter. In an interview he said something that is still in my mind today. He said, "Every day I remind my body that it can still walk. Perhaps that is why my mind also keeps reminding itself that it can still learn." This is not just a sentence. This is a concept of healthy aging. Therefore next time when you stand up from a chair, do not consider it just an everyday movement. Consider it a 60-second investment for your brain. And the most memorable message of today's video is this. It might be that the strength of your memory is not hidden in any expensive supplement bottle, but is hidden in that very chair on which you sit every day. Sometimes the biggest secret of healthy aging is not any extraordinary work, but an ordinary habit that you repeat every day with extraordinary consistency. If you have knee pain, a balance issue, or any medical condition, then before starting this or any new exercise, do consult your doctor or physiotherapist. Do tell in the comments, what is your age? And will you include this 60-second habit in your daily routine from tomorrow? If you want to watch videos like this on science-backed healthy aging and memory health, then subscribe to the channel and share this video with a friend or family member who often says, "My memory is not like before."